thought really it was interesting because normally you have to like go to help rely on your community, but in this situation, Uwe like really kind of ended up being received by his community.
Yeah, so I agree. So I don't think initially at the beginning of the book he'd really turn to anyone to kind of help him through this time. But throughout the story, we saw all these relationships forming, like with the family who moved next door. Their kids at the end of the book called him Grandpa.
Yeah.
He helped them drive him to the hospital, and he helped them with all this stuff. So he didn't necessarily go to them for help, but in the end, they really did end up helping him.
Yeah, like, I mean, what do you think? How do you think they were able to get him kind of like open up and like help fix things for them, or was that just kind of in there with Uwe like all along? Like, was he that kind of guy, or did they make him that kind of guy? Like that would come out like help fix Adrian's bike for his girlfriend. Like, was that within Uwe all along, or did they kind of help bring that out within him?
I think that with the flashback scenes we've seen, that we've known that Uwe was a very reserved person, that he kind of stuck to himself and his own morals. But I also think in these flashbacks that we saw that he did the right thing. And so, and yes, he did have a spark of compassion. He had compassion for Sonia, and he had compassion when he pretty much turned the wallet in and when he saved the guy on the train tracks. So I think even though we've seen him be very secluded and choose to be lonely, that we've seen these little sparks of compassion, that, and I just think that his neighbors and his community really brought those moments out and really kind of turned him around and made those moments more consistent.
Yeah, they definitely brought him out of his shell and got him into a situation that he wasn't feeling like he had to. I think he really like filled the void that was left there. And like people obviously like they think people who obviously commit suicide, they're depressed, they're down in life, and Uwe certainly was. But I mean, I don't think it was anything other than the fact that he just didn't really know anyone. He didn't really know how to go on without Sonia.
Yeah,
he just,
because if we think about it, right, he lost his wife and then he lost his job, and I don't remember exactly where in the book or exactly the line, but it was like he said something like, I have nothing going for me, like there's nothing else left for me out there. And so in that moment he didn't turn to his community because he thought that was the end, but slowly but surely his community started to be there for him, and his community gave him something to live for.
Yeah, I think that's certainly like a great way of putting like it kind of circled around him, like the community he'd always like taken care of. If like think about like the residential inspections and all that, like that was really kind of a moment that not really. I mean, personally, I don't think it was definitely really kind of heartwarming. That's for sure. And that kind of brings up the question, like in other scenarios, that where people say have something bad happen to them, why do you think community can help other people in troubling times? Like, for example, say something bad happens to someone, like why does it make the person who is suffering just feel better to kind of have that like support of the community around them?
I mean, so in this book, the community was very specific to the residential area and what you think of as a community of like neighbors and houses and such. But community really means just the people around you. And I think that when someone goes through a tough time, I know personally when I have, that I want to talk to someone. I want to share my emotions. I want to let people know. And I don't think Uwe was very forward with this same ideal, but I think he still needed someone. He still needed something. And in a way, he didn't exactly want to turn to his community, but he pretty much gave in and did turn into his community.
Yeah, and I think it was really, he kind of, at the end, he really didn't have a choice. They were kind of like circling around him and really kind of filling that incredible void that was left by the absence of Sonia. It was really pretty much Sonia and his job and kind of the stability of working and doing that same thing every day was another big part of him. When you said he lost his job, it kind of almost hit me because I forgot about that, because a lot of the book is about his relationships and the the people he's met over the course of his life, but another big part of his life is his work ethic, and that was really kind of threatened and really destroyed. And that it's so nice to see how that community gave him an elderly life worth living.
Yeah, it also kept him busy, right? He had this wife who's now gone. He had his job, which he also lost, and he was just not busy. He didn't have anything to do, and he felt as if his life was worthless because of that. And so I think that once his community kind of was present, he became a grandpa to the family, and he became a figure in the community that people could turn to, and he kept himself busy with their problems and helped them. And I think that really helped him in the long term.
Yes, it definitely did. I think there's definitely no disputing that. All right, that's all the time we're going to have for today. Thank you so much for discussing this with us.
Thank you for having me, Walshy.
Really appreciate you listening to these two discussions about community and life and literature. I certainly hope that these discussions will help you appreciate communities in and around your life. Thanks for listening.